On the home of fresh and classic hits. This is 96.9 Pearl in the morning. My name is Sipo the Double P.
And my name is Karaoke Winnie.
And my name is VDJ Hobbs, Africa's #1 DJ.
And I want us to switch gears a little bit. We have with us in studio a man who is great. One, because of the club he supports.
Oh, wow.
I believe this is a shareholder. You know about a shareholder government? It's a shareholder at Old Trafford. His name is Mugambi Mutegi, and he's the manager. Mutegi is the manager, communication and external relations at the Competition Authority of Kenya. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
How are you?
I'm fine.
It's very good to have you with us in studio. So for those who may not know, what is the Competition Authority of Kenya? What does it do? When was it established? And how does it run?
Thank you very much for having me here. The Competition Authority of Kenya is a government agency. It was formed 11 years ago. We're celebrating our birthday, I think, 12th birthday in August this year. We are tasked to do several things under the Competition Act. So we operationalize or execute the Competition Act in terms of two things. We regulate market structure and market conduct. But I made a promise to myself that I'll come here and I'll not use very big terms. I can break it down in terms of structure. It's how businesses are how they are set up in the market. And market sisoko, it's sectors. If it's a retail sector, if it's pharmaceutical, how they're set up. How are they 10? Are they 2? Then market conduct is how these businesses behave in those sectors. Are they playing? Are they competing in a fair manner or not? So our tasks, anything I'll explain today, deals with those two. And the outcome of all this is consumer protection or consumer welfare. If businesses are not conducting themselves in the right way, it will affect consumers negatively. Let's assume there's abuse of dominance. There's a player who is so strong in the market. At the end of the day, who suffers? It's
the consumer.
It's the consumer.
Let's talk about dominance. What's a legal percentage of dominance that one is allowed to have in the competition?
Dominance is in the Competition Act. It's defined as anything above 50%. There's a second definition: if you're above 40% market share, and you have something called market power. But what normal Kenyans understand is when you have 50% of a market, over 50%. But let me just give a disclaimer: having that dominance is not per se wrong. You could be fast to market.
Yep.
You could be innovative.
Yep.
The abuse of that position is a problem with CK. If you abuse the position, then we come for you. But if you're dominant and you're doing, you're well. Let's Baraka, you go form a company. You think of a good idea, come to market. People embrace it.
Yeah.
After 10 years, you're the leader.
Yep.
Someone comes, tries to compete with you. You don't try defend your position in a bad way. You continue, innovating to ensure that your competitor does not take away the players from you. Is that wrong? No,
it's not.
But if you now try maybe things like margin squeeze, if you're dominant, you could have ability to price your product even below cost, so that you can squeeze out Winnie from the market.
That's true.
You could do other activities to ensure that Winnie does not have a ground in the market. Now CAK will come for you after that.
I'm trying to remember my competition law. Was it CAP 31?
No.
What CAP was it? Do you remember the number?
In consumer protection, it's Article 46.
Article 46?
Yes. Article of the Constitution, it's Article 46. It spells out the consumer protection rights. One of the rights is that you're entitled to goods and services of a good quality. If someone, in a business person, infringes upon your rights, you're supposed to get redress. Things about fair advertisements are there. Things. Article 46, that's what spells out the consumer protection rights, around 5 or so sections. Then the Competition Act now is more expansive. We have a department at CAK that now deals with that, but we implement the Competition Act, the consumer protection rights clauses in the Competition Act, but we also draw our wider mandate from the Constitution of Kenya.
Okay, I'm just saying CAP 31 actually is sales of good acts, so I got that a bit mistaken. But where's the role for willing buyer, willing seller? If I want to have, say we all have a phone company, right?
Yep.
So Hobbs has a yellow phone, Winnie has an orange phone, and I have a red phone, right? And that's the name of our companies. But Winnie, who's the cutest of all us, has competition and she has great dominance in the market. And we all have the same phone, but she decides to price hers at 3K. And ours, we can't get down to that price because we won't make any money. Isn't there a case of willing buyer, willing seller?
I would have to go back in history. In the mid-90s, our economy was controlled, so the government would set prices for various commodities. Later on, the President Kibaki's government, they decided, you know what, let's go the free market route. Free market route is basically what you're talking about. Let demand and supply, things we were taught in commerce in high school, let that dictate the prices of goods. Okay, so in that instance, if Winnie decides to price her products at 3K, fine. Mugambi will choose Winnie for whatever reason. Whether it's the type of product she's selling, whether it's the pricing, whether it's there's some services, same service, but in terms of what's it called? One doesn't work all the time. Availability of the service. Such things determine where you as a consumer will go. That no one should come and tell you, know what, this is what you should buy, this is the price you should buy at. At CAK, we don't set the price. We ensure that the demand and supply forces are the ones that dictate the prices. Anything that comes to affect that, cartelization, people who form groups and say, you know what, we're going to be pricing our products at this amount, we come in there.
You said a very important word that Hobbes holds dear, cartel.
Yes, cartels.
And how cartels are thriving in this country.
Very true.
Kenya, let's talk about the developments you've made in the last 12 years. You say you have 4 departments at Competition Authority?
Yes, we have 4 technical departments.
Technical departments.
So it's basically the departments that oversight the Competition Act in terms of the specific clauses. The rest of us, communications, support department. But the guys who actually do the work are 4 departments. I can quickly run through them, then maybe we can concentrate on consumer protection. There's mergers and acquisitions department. So this is about the departments that deals with 2 companies when you want to merge. When Pearl Radio, for instance, wants to go and buy another company, you can't do that without coming to the authority to seek approval. Why? Yes, that's a good question. People keep asking, willing buyer, willing seller refers. If your combined turnover or sales or assets of the 2 entities is above 1 billion, then you're significant enough in the market to cause to distort competition. Okay. So if you're a small entity, you're 2 kiosks, no problem. But if your combined assets or turnover is above 1B Kenya shillings, you have to come to us. We'll analyze the transaction. Then if it affects competition negatively, there are some mitigation factors that we can put in place between Pearl and someone else, that you allow. Fine, you merge, but do 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Then you also check how it will negatively affect. Maybe you have SMEs who are customers. We can put some clauses, some requirements there that you have to adhere to. So things like all sectors. You're not a sector specific. So I can tell you things like there was a merger transaction that never went through. Airtel Telecom, the KCB and BKs come to mind, and
there's some have gone through though.
Many go through.
So some of those have gone through. I'd like to believe are NIC and NCBA to form NCBA.
NCBA. There's Tuskys Ukwala. Tuskys purchased very long ago. Tuskys purchased some Ukwala stores. Still have to come to us, but if you're below the 1B mark, more or less, you just go ahead.
I mean, we're not 900 million, so I guess that doesn't affect us too much, but go on.
Okay, the second department is enforcement and compliance, which, as you said, Hobbes likes things about cartelization.
About cartels.
Yes, cartels.
Yeah, he wants to fight them with everything in him.
Yeah.
So, why not?
So cartels are businesses who, instead of competing, decide to sit in a hotel, meet in a golf course, and set prices, set discounts for consumers. So, for instance, you, Baraka, you're going to buy, one product in a shop, 2 competitor products. So you would assume that, these guys are in the market, they innovate, they bring a new product, they'll price their products differently. So you're doing window shopping. You don't know these guys met last week and decided, 700 shillings per kg is a price. So what you're doing is more or less, I don't know the word.
But again, Mr. Mutegi, willing buyer, willing seller. Why are you dictating the price of what my product is going to be?
No, CAK does not dictate the price. I'm saying the businesses. Let me use an example of a case we handled. Okay, for 3 years or 4 years ago, we penalized 4 4 paints companies 66 million Kenya shillings for being in a cartel. Okay, so these companies, the major companies in the country, had were setting prices of the paint products. They were increasing the paint products prices in concert. They were sitting together. They say, from November 1st, the price of a kg of paint is this. Discounts for suppliers taken to Kisumu is this. That to you, the consumer, is not right. Okay, these guys are, at the end of the day, this setting of prices is to their own benefit, for profit seeking, not to help you. So if they compete, okay, they'll innovate. The prices will be determined by competition. Okay, go back to the basic economics we talked about, supply, demand. Okay, these guys are coming in to distort supply and demand. So at the end of the day, who suffers? It's the you.
Consumer.
The consumer is the one who suffers.
I'm with you on that bike, but still, I mean, if you don't want my paint and you don't want our paint, go and get other paint.
Fine, that is true, and that's what I'm saying. I agree with you totally. The problem is at the back end, these guys, you're being hoodwinked to think that
all of them have sat together.
They've sat together. Okay, cartels are not pro-consumers. Cartels are not pro good prices.
And so you're there to protect the consumer.
Yes, we're there to protect consumers. So these guys are doing wrong by you, the consumer. We want them to not talk, don't share any sensitive strategic information. You know, if you go to the market, do your research and see that people want a product of this type, Winnie will go and make that product. Then I'll go and choose. But at the end of the day, if people sit down and decide the prices, they are not motivated to do anything to help you out.
True enough.
That department, before you go to consumer protection, is one called Buyer Power. Buyer Power is a bit new, came in around 4 years ago. Buyer Power speaks about where there's a supply of a product, supplying to an entity or a company that is very strategic for their survival. I can give you an example, but does not say that the entire department deals with retail. For instance, you're in the retail sector. Baraka, you're producing honey.
I am producing honey.
Okay.
I am.
I guess so. You look like a honey man.
You look like a prophet.
So you're producing honey. And remember, Winnie also produces some other brand of honey, same as he. So you by the virtue of fact that the retailer, who perhaps is the biggest in Kenya, let's assume biggest in Kenya, 100 stores, they're dominant. Okay? So getting in there for you is very strategic. Losing that business could be detrimental to yourself and to your employees. Okay, so you are beholden to this guy. When you're coming to bargain with a retailer, he has an upper hand. What are some of the things that they may do? It's no problem having the upper hand. What they may do is refuse to pay you on time. You take your honey there. They tell you, you know what, we ordered 100, we've not managed to sell 100, take back the 20 at your loss. And honey is, it's not perishable. Let's assume you're dealing with things like tomatoes, eggs,
or even milk.
Or milk that has a
shelf life.
So these ones, who suffers? It's the SME. The person, this retailer who has you're economically dependent on them, could force you also to bring your salespeople, bring marketing people to them, and force you to use your own money to market your product. So that's abuse of buyer power. So there's a department, that department deals with that.
And there's one more department I want to talk about, and that's about consumer protection.
Let me tackle consumer protection first by explaining some of the issues that relate to unfair practices in the consumer protection space. Then I'll give you a list, or I'll elaborate on some of the things we have done.
Excellent.
So one of the issues that relates to consumer protection is false and misleading advertisement or representation. False and basically a company, this is what we are discussing out here, a company falsely representing their services or goods. Someone could tell you that buy this, it has these qualities. An example we always give, you buy a television, then it goes home, and you're told it can do 1, 2, 3, 4 things, only for you to go home and you can't even play whatever is on the supposed list. That person enticed you to buy the product using false advertising.
False representation on it.
So someone could tell you, that buy this car, the spare parts are available here. This product has been sponsored by so and so.
And you bought it on that premise.
You bought it on that premise. Based on that,
Yeah.
only for you to go home, or you use the service, or you're told, you're going to a holiday in Mombasa. This tour company tells you they're going to even pick you up. Yeah? All you can eat, all you can drink, all these things, fancy things. Once you sign, once you pay, the story changes. That's false and misleading, represented, and it happens in various forms. Those are just examples I've given you. There's a big term we also call unconscionable conduct. Unconscionable conduct, more or less, is when you have not similar to buyer power. It's your two entities. There's the business and yourself. Now, the business is in a stronger position than you are. For instance, Baraka, you want a loan. You want to asset finance from a commercial bank. You go there and they force you. They have bank assurance. Basically, they have an insurance arm in the bank.
Yeah.
They force you as a condition to get the loan.
You must take up the insurance. Yeah.
Now, you're in this position.
Is that them twisting my arm?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
They should give you the list of options you have. They can't force you to go with one, but they know, since you really are desperate for
the loan, for the facility.
One of the issues that maybe we dealt with unconscionable conduct, one bank, falsely misrepresented. So they did this. There was an employee who left the company. The bank had a loan. Okay. And they were told that if you pay this loan within this time, you'll get this kind of discounts. They did exactly that. Then the bank ikamruka more or less. The bank went to got a lawyer. When this lady fought the issue, the bank, without seeking her approval, debited her account with the legal fees. So the bank is using their position. They have access to your account.
They do.
So she just sits. She's just so ting ting.
Money has been deducted from your.
Has left.
Wow.
And this whole circus was around 1.4 million Kenya shillings.
Ooh.
So we ordered the bank to refund her. That's unconscionable conduct. Basically, a business using their position, their power to disenfranchise you.
Okay.
Lastly, before you go to some of the interventions, there's something called product information standards. You buy juice. You buy edible oils. At the back, there's the ingredients there. There's a weight of the product there. Okay.
That one is touchy. Because there are days I buy bread and I want to go and wait. Is this really 400 grams? I feel like the 400 grams has changed in weight.
So if some of these issues, they're falsely. So that 400 when it's actually 380. That's false and representation. But these product information standards have been set by KEBS. Okay. That you say that your product has 1, 2, 3, 4 things. For these days people are very health conscious, so they really want to know what is in what the products they're consuming. So you have to have them there. If you don't have them, we can penalize you. Okay. If
you don't have a list of the ingredients and the composition.
Yes.
Oh, really?
So, we can penalize you based on. In concert, we'll go and work with KEBS and then check what should have been there. What you're not observing, then we can penalize you. One
of the things I see a lot, and you mentioned juices, is that some of them say they don't have artificial sweeteners. If there's a way that I could prove that they actually do have artificial sweeteners.
Yeah, because they do. Chances are
was like, some of them was like, is there a way we can address that?
100% healthy.
Have you gone to a restaurant, you ordered a chapati. Then they are so clever. They don't bring the chapati in full, in slices. So
I know where you're going with this.
Ukipanga the slices.
And they adding up.
I go around.
But I hope the women actually done the kupanga. I'll go to the it's a nice segment or trying to segue to the actual interventions because one of them is in juices. But with when it comes also to the slices element, we did something in bread. The bread manufacturers were falsely representing. Some of them were saying they have these ingredients. They were saying they have butter, they have, but they don't have. Okay, they were not printing they were printing a sell by date as opposed to best before. If you're told sell by date, you don't know if
but I get
break that down. What's the difference between sell by date and best before?
Sell by date, you're told sell by date by Saturday.
Okay? By the 4th.
By the 4th. Does that really tell you if that bread is good to consume?
Definitely not.
So I think that what I've made to understand.
So, but if you go check right now, we force the bread manufacturers to put the
best before
the best before date. on the wrapper, and it should be very
Now I get it.
There's one who's misbehaving. I
Oh,
won't mention
there
them. I won't mention them on air, but there's one who's misbehaving.
Yeah, no, bring them to us after.
Wacha utoke, wacha hii radio ishuke chini wewe. There's one who's misbehaving. There's one who's misbehaving wewe.
Yeah, so some of these brands, they were not observing those product information standards. They were not even printing. Some of them were not printing when the actual month that this bread had been manufactured. They were putting this best before date, which is a bit, just going around the corners. Doesn't tell you as a consumer anything.
Yeah.
Okay, juices, you mentioned. Juices, we did penalized some, I won't mention the names.
Yeah.
But if you go to our annual reports, our website, you'll find the names. The big companies that sell juices in the country.
What are you penalizing them for? What have they done wrong?
If you go against the Competition Act, we can penalize you. Okay.
So what in particular have they done wrong?
For the juices, for the juices, they were saying that
a lot of sugar.
No. Their products are 100% natural.
Mm-hmm. Is that not what we are all saying?
They've touched you.
They've touched me.
Surely.
Yeah.
If you still believe, so right now, if you we don't have the boxes to prove, but maybe 2 years ago they were saying it's
Yes.
complete with the
All natural.
complete with a big enticing photo of a mango busting. Just to entice you to think that is a very
100%. Yes.
But at the end of it, it was a concentrate.
Wow.
So if you check the listing right now, should be indicating concentrate if it has concentrate.
Yeah.
It's fully, with some elements of fruit.
Yeah.
That's what you should say. If you suspect that that's not happening, I'll before I finish.
I have his number now. I just walk around telling.
I'll ask you.
Pigia Mutegi simu.
And let me ask you a question. Upande wa advertising, we've seen on TV 2 telcos. One is doing an advert to banish the other person. Is that a bad thing?
The colors.
Colors and actions.
It's not a bad thing, but there's a regulator that.
But you're coming to me in such a way like, no, that is so bad.
No, the realm of advertising sometimes, even if you go online, Audis and Mercedes, you check out some of the adverts that they put on there.
Yeah.
Some of them are,
a bit cheeky.
I think that's what these companies you're mentioning are borrowing. But there's some laws that govern,
Okay.
that. Yeah. So maybe if another example, maybe the ones that really touch us, that perhaps you didn't know what CAK did. USSD?
Yes.
*216 hash. Previously, before this, all apps came into that, you were so reliant on USSD.
Yeah.
It used to cost 10 shillings.
Yep.
Per transaction.
Yep.
We intervened and said, this is not right for the market. One player had control of this USSD market. So right now it's less than a shilling. These days, guys don't even realize.
Yeah. There's one that is charging me 10 shillings now.
10.
Actually, now.
Mutegi, you've come.
Serious?
There's some people who are misbehaving.
There's no problem.
So
No.
mimi niko na mtu wa mkate.
Yeah.
Mimi niko na
Homes are gonna
USSD.
USSD.
Uko na nani?
Mimi I'm yet to find my culprit. I'm yet to find my culprit.
Wewe watu wa Instagram online, watu wa nguo, watu wanauzia nguo.
I can touch on that. I'll go to Winnie's point. But again, USSD should be, it plays around 1 shilling or less.
Yes.
Now, disclosures. When you're paying for a transaction, you want to pull money from your bank wallet. Previously, you do these transactions and you don't know how much it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
Okay? Remember, we talked about you need the full rights to gain.
Yeah.
The information
I see you
to gain
now.
Before you.
Yeah. So the prior information that this sending 200k to or from your account or this or buying this token through this USSD is going to cost you 10 shillings.
Yeah.
Do you want to proceed?
Yes.
After you have the full information.
Because we all use M-Pesa all the time. There's a time M-Pesa would not tell you.
Yes.
You just sort of like do the math of how much has been deducted. But now
they didn't. It wasn't M-Pesa alone. It was all.
It was everyone who was doing.
The banks, all other telcos. We ordered them to remedy that. To tell the client prior. It's called in-flight.
Yes.
While they're making the transaction.
Yes.
Tell them the cost that's going to cost them.
This USSD is not telling me even that.
I'm telling you, I'm giving you his number once we are done.
We'll handle that. Okay.
Kuna mtu this month lazima ateseke juu yako hopes.
And the receipts. Okay?
And the receipts as well.
You have to get the receipts.
Yeah, very true.
So that's our intervention.
Awesome. Let's talk about Marta's Instagram and then talk about how we can find you online in case anyone has a complaint.
Instagram, I think there are 2 elements to it. consumers have rights, as we've all talked about, but you have responsibilities. There are fraudsters who have found a good fertile ground on Instagram.
Yeah.
So fine. Go when you're going to buy. Ensure, do your due diligence. Ensure that these guys, have check who have they sold to. Are their friends who've bought from them? Such things, okay? Because someone may just create an account from the comfort of their sitting room,
of their bed sitter. What's a sitting room?
What about the pay before, the pay prior? Because most of them are like, you pay first to secure the the whatever you want to buy.
Fine, that's okay. But if they deliver and it's not what you ordered for, they should take it back. But not
and
everything.
refund.
They should refund. You can either refund, they can repair the product if it's faulty.
Now to pay our DM for prices.
DM for prices.
We need to end this. But
Yes.
tell us, how can we get more information, and how can we get in touch with you?
CAK is based in Nairobi only, but we've made use of online platforms. You can get to us. You go to your mobile phone, search for either iOS or Android, search for Competition Authority of Kenya, download the app, register, then you can do all that. You can even take photos of the receipts from the app. There's a online platform. It's a bit lengthy, but go to our website, which is www.cak.go.ke, www.cak.go.ke. Under the e-services tab, you'll find our portal there. It's free to use. Even if you complain, Hobbs, Baraka, we won't charge you a single cent.
Okay.
Then just register. Then from there, if you have any issue, file with us. Lastly, second last, you can call us. We still have a telephone number, plus 254 20 277 9000. 277 9000.
There's someone on the other side to pick it up.
Yeah,
you can be calling anyone.
You can call loud right now.
Okay, don't Ben and then to Jaribo.
I'm sure Damaris in the retro is listening to me. Damaris, someone is trying to call you right now. The last one, you can call. You can email us on complain@cak.go.ke. List your issues, attach your receipts. Don't go breaking the warranty clauses, then come bring the product to us. The warranties, if you have the receipts, detail. But first, you have to go to the person who wronged you. Try get remedial action from them. If they fail, you come. Don't rush to us. Just something is infringed, run to the CAK. Go first seek. Sometimes these people, you go to them and immediately they sort you out.
Yeah. All right. His name is Mugambi Mutegi. He's the manager of communication and external relations at the Competition Authority of Kenya. Thanks so much for spending your Friday morning with us. We've learned so much. I can't wait to have you back again so we can talk more and more about this.
96.9 FM, Pearl Radio.